Welcome back. It's time to move on to our next battleground. It's going to be Erangel here for our next 2 games. Joining me for us on Avenger, boys. Erangel, what did we have yesterday? We had a FaZe win and we had a Unity win. The Unity win came a little bit out of nowhere for me, a little bit unexpected, considering they're currently in our relegation positions. It was a bit of a weird game.
It was a super weird game. But I mean, overall,
I think it's the weirdest game I've seen.
It was
FaZe 2 especially.
It was Jempty's game. That's about what it was all about.
Jempty Shack game.
Yeah.
But it was a weird game in general. I think it was not just, it was a multitude of things. The Winstrike guys, the Nookie dying to the blue zone unprovoked. He was trying to get a US. There was a smoke. He couldn't get out. Then he died.
All of Reciprocity was doing.
Reciprocity trying to get into a small dog shack and Jempty getting some smokes out and everything. But look at this.
5th, 6th place.
That is 1 point between 5th and 6th right now. This today could be the first time we see the top 5 shake-up in as many weeks, I suppose, when you think about it.
Well, it's like since week 1, more or less, right?
As many weeks. There you go. That is some crazy stuff. Razor Edge has definitely thrown down the gauntlet here for Border Patrol. Navi still sits firmly up at the top, almost 30 points ahead right now for the #1 spot. And 2nd, 3rd are tied.
Liquid got over 500 points now as well.
Nice.
So now there's 3 teams up there in the 500-point club.
But this is the big comparison to draw right now. A ton of kills coming in for TSM. Razor Edge not far behind, but their average points, I can only imagine, from placement is higher.
Yeah, and more than 10% more damage on TSM sides compared to Razor Edge. It's only 4 kills different. So obviously, if it comes down to a tie, in
later on,
the end, their TSM will be coming out on top because the first tiebreaker is the kills.
Who's going to get 100 first?
Who's going to get 100 first? Ooh.
We have to pay attention to the kill feed because by the end of the game, we can't really just be like, oh,
James.
You think James?
Oh, that'll be insane. That'll be insane. So James get 5 kills this game and kill G2 in the making, just like EB did, and get 1 more, and then you're good. That would be insane.
Bold predictions.
But it's pretty staggered. You can see obviously the top guys here, both with G2 and with the Liquid guys. 2 extremely strong duos.
Shows the amount of damage that the Grim Reapers are able to put out. Navi, 3 members in the top damage leaders when it comes to output.
We have Senya up there as well.
Was it?
Yeah, Senya was the 5th spot, so he was the 5th. So out of Navi, he was the 5th. Play out of that.
Didn't I just say 3 members?
We'll talk about that later.
What did I do wrong?
900 points different. But look at the amount of knocks. He has so many more knocks, Gustav, and we talked about this a bit before. It talks to how many kills that TSM gets stolen from them. It looks like it's about 10 kills that Gustav has stolen from him, and I'm not sure how many he has been stealing. So we'll look at that up as we speak.
Nice.
Gustav has only stolen 4. So he's in a deficit as well in stolen to get in stolen from. So it's very unfortunate for TSM that they don't get to steal all the kills.
Well, looking forward into Erangel, of course, aside from the last game yesterday, which Unity was just unexpectedly getting the win from during all of that, FaZe actually got themselves the win, and G2 was 2nd in our first Erangel game of the day. And we're always kind of expecting FaZe to be doing well when it comes to Erangel, based on their current history.
Yeah.
So what do you expect from someone like FaZe once again here?
I haven't seen too much coming out from FaZe this weekend overall, I don't feel like this is their weekend and not playing their normal game. Sure, they got that 1 win, of course, but I mean, except from that, there's like nothing else. What I'm expecting, though, is Liquid. They played really well yesterday on Erangel, and I mean, they have a little bit of ups and downs. We've seen that. They got 15th place in the first game here today. But I feel like they can honestly take home a win here in the upcoming 2 games.
You know what I'd like to see? An ENCE win on StarLadder to begin off with.
I feel like,
and then they're going to be in the out of relegation zone. They're going to be taking over M19. And that's 15 kills.
Has that ship sailed?
I'm not sure. I'm just hoping for it. I feel like these guys, they need to redeem themselves, and it needs to be now. When we are done with this week, when we're done on Sunday, we're going to be 75% through of our Phase 2. And by that point, I feel like it's kind of
Look, it's not working out for them right now.
It would be catastrophe if they go into the relegation positions.
Past 18 games, ENCE have had 2 placements in top 10.
Oof. How many?
2. In the past 18 games.
Ooh, dear.
That's not good.
No, gotta get their act together here as we go into Erangel. Once again, we're going to be going on to game number 67. Plenty of games been played so far here. Plenty more to come as well for Phase 2 as we head over now onto Erangel once again. The plane descend. It's time for the Pansy and the Sims to bring you all of that PUBG lovely, lovely action here from our next game. Let's go. Let's go, we'll go.
Let's go real quick. Gotta go fast, Sonic. I don't know, I'm not down with the kids. I don't know memes anymore. Yeah.
Review. Main review.
Yeah, I can't help it.
Main review.
I did this joke with Moses like a year ago and it still wasn't that great.
No.
Nah. I'll leave Moses to be the actual entertaining one.
Which modes are we talking about? The good caster or the bad caster? Of course, you cast for both of them. Pick keywords
the
wise.
PUBG caster.
The bad one then. So, plane starts up in the north and it goes all the way down south.
No.
I don't really know where I'm going off the back of that one.
No, we've kind of hit a point, haven't we? We've just really plateaued.
Stagnated now.
I'm just looking at chat instead and just talking about Shroud.
Good enough. Need to probably speak more about mods. Is an A team that he's put together. Shroud, Doc.
Oh, it's that was the most well-constructed bit of bait.
It was amazing.
Because like half people were like angry because they thought it was real, and then it was just like the most perfect bait tweet. Just perfect.
He just left it there.
Shrouds from Canada, actually. It's like, have you got no issue with the dog playing?
The amount of people don't realise so is Moses as well.
It's just perfection. It is just perfection. Like Moses, you've got to give him credit. Like he has literally the best like.
Oh, he's a legend.
He understands.
Yeah, he knows his audience.
Yeah. Ooh.
So does
they
the circle,
wanted
to be fair.
Stalber.
Well,
oh my.
There we go. Then that's an interesting one to start things off. Playing path is actually, for the teams that loot up there, the most difficult run they have to make. You can see Raise Your Edge. They'll be going Yaznaya. Usual place for them. They're all in a car and they're just bombing it over there. Again, same goes for ENCE. So these teams that are up in the north, yes, they've got the circle, but realistically, they should be later to the central point unless they decide to go a different area. I mean, for ENCE, they could take Severny. No one generally goes there, so it is an option, to be fair.
The big thing in my mind as well is how well this plays for Raise Your Edge in comparison to TSM. If you want to look at the two sides of the coin right now for the kind of 1 point difference. Obviously TSM down in the south can have worked their way in. Not too hard. I'm just talking in the smaller percentages. Obviously Raise Your Edge and Yaznaya, no one really goes into Yaznaya late game. It's just, you just avoid it. They should have a nice little launch pad. Yes, they'll have to probably get past ENCE if they go north of the little lake, but all in all, that's not bad positioning for them. That could be quite good. We'll see what TSM do. They have FaZe to contest with, G2 not far off either, and the Knights further ahead, so it's a little bit of a tricky spot for them. But other than that, we have pretty much a standard approach.
Let's address the big point. TSM. 1 point and Raise Your Edge have got a decent circle and a decent city to themselves.
That's what I just said, Rich. You're not listening to me, are you?
I am, but I just want to go deeper into it.
Okay. Deep dive.
Do you think now, and you've been a player, you've been there, you've done that.
God.
What starts to go through their mindsets now? Is this where you start to see people potentially tilting because you're very aware that you're going to lose that position? Like, there's a lot on the line for these guys.
Hopefully nothing. In the nicest way, they shouldn't be thinking about anything beyond the game.
Yeah.
If you're a good coach, if you're a good manager, you shouldn't even... It shouldn't cross your mind. You just need to play the game in front of you. If you start worrying about that stuff, you're already, taking on way too much that you just don't need to be. So hopefully for them, they can literally just take it step by step. It should be, how do we win this game? How do we get the best placement points we can? Obviously, when we look at it from an external perspective, I think all of us sit here and go, oh, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they push that team? Why didn't they, you know what I mean? But for them, it should just be another game. There shouldn't be a change. Not yet.
It's
Marius
so
in the background, just like,
Listen,
little chess master.
Yeah, it's still crazy to think how many games we do actually have left. 67 out of 96, and anything can happen across still the 2-3 weeks that we've got left to play. It's good fun, I know a few people have been mentioning the term of games and the length of games that they've actually got, but there is, all right, a certain point where you could say, okay, these have definitely qualified and they're not going to slip out of it, but then there's also a chance for a team to make a comeback, right? Someone else to completely and utterly fluff it all together, fall out of the top 5, and then a team just to get the job done and end up going to the Grand Slam.
Yeah, no, I think that's the thing, right? We look at the top of the table and it is somewhat solidified, so I don't see those performances drastically changing. I look at your FaZe, your Na'Vi, I look at the teams at the very top. I don't see them having great deals of issues. They haven't showed, you know, a huge dip in performance. Yes, they may have had good and bad weeks, but not to the extent where you worry that it's going to be a constant factor. For me, they're pretty much sorted, that top 3, top 4. It could shuffle. They could, you know, leapfrog each other. But Mert being warded away, that's Vitality. But yeah, I think beyond that, they're pretty much golden. They can switch and change, but they should be safe. Unless, I don't know, they lose an arm. It's something so drastic, like maybe a player getting banned, for example, could have maybe changed something, but that's not the case. It doesn't happen.
I suppose those at the top as well, for them, even if they do get it to a point where it's locked in, they're playing for more money.
Oh, of course.
They're playing for position. So then if they start going for some of the more weaker and vulnerable teams, it could even shift things up further afield and maybe potentially boot somebody as a knock-on effect into relegation.
Yeah. That's always the fun one, is if there's any allegiances, like just hot drop these guys if you're safe.
Look, I'm going to say it now. I am looking forward to GLL for the simple fact that you've got to remember there is that seat that's on the line for PGC. NA versus EU. Yes, I know there's other regions in there, but certainly NA versus EU, in my opinion, is going to be a very real thing.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if...
That's a seat for your region.
I don't want to... Exactly, because it's not collusion at that point.
No.
It's just fighting for your regional benefit, because it could benefit you down the line.
Yeah.
That's the smart thing to do. And I love a bit of rivalry.
It's good.
I'm going to be biased as hell. I'm not going to pretend. If I get to cast it, that is.
And again, when we come to these fights, don't worry, I know we're talking about bigger picture here in PUBG. We will focus on these.
They're safe.
It's not too much to be worried about. But I think it was...
Sorry.
Somebody killed a certain team. I think it was one of the OMG players. And you have the knock-on effect of where Liquid managed to make it up into the top 3 and so on and so forth. You have all these just domino effects and knock-on effects. And I think the majors are amazing. It's good to watch it. And now it's leading up to, as a whole roadmap for a year, leading up to a $2 million grand finals. It's just sick.
I do worry for like EU in the aspect of they get so used to playing this style, right? This is the cream of their crop. This is the tier 1, and it's a lot, right? You play a lot of games, you get used to the style. I'll come back to that in a second, because Shadows just got engaged on by Team Liquid. It looks like Vitality kind of fell off that hill where they were initially fighting towards, I think it was Mert from DA. They looked to find some maybe harder cover to play with, but now they're in a bit of a pickle, because they do have DA on one side and they have Team Liquid on the other, but then there's NIP. They're also watching a similar angle. So that could be another factor coming through, and they might just have to shuffle around and find their own compounds, even if it's not the prime one they were maybe aiming for. Yeah, sorry, back to the point. I think for me, we saw EU in when they got to the Face It Global Summit, struggling to kind of adapt to a different meta because they're so used to this. There's no taking away the talent that is within EU. I love watching these guys play. I think you can really handpick some incredible players, but it's can that then translate out of the current meta? How quickly can they do that? That's always the thing for me. I think, ooh,
yoink,
gotta go fast. Yeah, so a lot of teams looking for compounds here. Raise your edge, and a nice one. They're going to spot TSM. That is a big fight. If this kicks off, Rich, this could be for that spot. No, oh, there goes Wookie Sigsy. I can imagine there's a grin on his face right now.
TSM, they lose the marksman. Fast Rail tries to go for a follow-up. If he can hit one of these bullets, it would be an absolute worlder of a shot. They've got nice prime position here. They are teetering just more towards the eastern side of the map. Should the circle be favourable, it will eventually be pulling away from water. We nip on board with a different fight. Jorski from a distance actually supporting Timmy there. I didn't realise it was a different player, so that's coming from the back lines, and now he's just watching the hard angle. Should they want to try and cross for this? And while Miraku goes for the res, he pushes up closer, but I don't think he realises he's there. He does now. That's the warning throw.
Got to commit now, Timmy.
You have to do it.
That's sick! The 7.6.
Oh
it just tears through you up close. It may not be the barrel, but the AK certainly does well. MBS still alive. He's going to take Jorski with him. And there's surely the trade for Tixu. Yeah, there it is. Good work on towards MBS. I don't know where the remaining player for NIP is. I think Vard's off in the hill. The little one, like, further to the south of it, maybe?
Wow.
But NIP have just been moved aside from this. This is not theirs anymore. That breach from Temi was amazing.
All the teams we mentioned at the start of the day, Winstrike starting to really show their heavy potential. We'll see how far they go down towards the late game, because that's the one that the hump they have to get over. Circle, a little bit of water in play, but not too much. FaZe paying dividends, going up along the coastline, just doing what they usually do, which is follow the sandbank inwards. They do have a difficult task in front of them. Their position where FaZe like to set up, it's just an open uphill ground battle. It's grass, there's no cover, there's a couple of rocks here and there, but nothing much. Then directly in front of them, you will have ENCE, who are taking that compound, the large hangar in the middle of nowhere. Further afield, you then just drop off downhill and this is exactly what I'm talking about. At the bottom of the hill here, you get this one little hagrid house and the parking lot next. It's essentially, that's all it is, and then a parking lot. What else can you really do off the back of it? It gives you a nice area to work with, but it tends to have really got the prime territory here in this area. Stops a lot of people moving forward. TSM, they're scattered to the winds and up towards the northeastern area. On the western embankment, you've still got Winstrike. They're happy because of the circle. Last team that has to make a move and come into the circle and basically make a very hard decision and commit to it is Reciprocity.
Yeah.
This is where your IGL has to take and just say, that's my fault. Pick. You've no idea what's going to happen and who's going to be in front of you. If you've been doing your research, your work, and you're a damn good player, you have a rough idea where teams like to linger. You will use a scout to pick up that position and make sure it's safe before going in. I need to stop for a second because James is just teaching on the edge. Navi's there.
Oh, that was such a quick shot from James. That headshot was vital. But can he get the nade onto it? Yeah, nice hill up and over for that one. But look at this pressure coming through. This is...
Where is it?
That's a bug we're looking at there. Don't worry, that was a spec bug. That wasn't a player actually in the compound. You can see Na'Vi are actually in a very different spot here. James needs to be very careful, though. There's several issues on several fronts. He's isolated. He's a very good player, though. He's got to know what terrain he's in.
That was such a quick sweep of the head. Just leans over the ridge line. Best of luck says, you know what? We're not having none of this. Time to back off. Let's hit the Dacia and reposition the rest of the team. M19. They've pulled up to FaZe's territory, and this is what we're speaking about. It's a very open ground. They do have this bowl to work off in front of the gas station. But apart from those little rocks, there's nothing else but a tree line, and they have to be very, very careful because TSM, given the fact they were in the engagement earlier on with Raise Your Edge, they've been forced to re-rotate, and now they will find themselves behind FaZe Clan. So FaZe have to be careful. TSM will pull up on, I want to say, it's like a plateau, so you can park. It's quite an open road. You've just got this flat surface, so if you park the cars and lay down, nobody can see you, whether it's uphill or downhill, because it's a really great little crevice that you can get yourself in with the vehicles. It's a nice position. The worrying factor for them is, in front of them, again, open ground. Behind them, I think this is where Reciprocity might interject themselves into the circle.
I wouldn't be surprised. They have to do something.
Blue's
TSM,
there.
yeah, playing on the outskirts as well. I'm trying to see. It's that southern side that's going to cause so many issues for so many of these teams at the moment. M19 spreading towards FaZe could be a problem for them. That's kind of hindered maybe FaZe's progress. I don't know if they really want that ditch to the east of Severny. They might do. Reciprocity all the way up and over. They could go in towards the back of TSM. There's a lot of room on this hillside, though. I think we all know that. There's plenty of space. I don't know how far they want to go here.
There is, but at this point, you know the priority spots, I want to call it. You know where they are. And I just think they're playing really passive here. All right, it's been a bit of a trek for them to this circle, but still. You keep seeing them playing edge, and it just doesn't seem to be paying off. They're down in that red dead zone. Circle, she pulls all the way humanly possible away from the water. We get the hard shift further down, even teetering on the edge of Rozhok. So now everyone in the north, they are going to be scattered, and the migration is going to be absolutely real. This will be a dungeon gauntlet.
Where are Na'Vi going?
I think they're just trying to find something.
Maybe just trying to find the car, some safety, if anything, they might be hiding
actually, no,
it.
to be fair, Na'Vi have got a very good compound.
That's why I was
hangar.
surprised I saw it in the car, but I think they're just trying to keep the car safe.
Got it. Okay.
I was just like, wait, are you trying to leave this? It just baffled me. Now, Raise Your Edge, I'm curious where they're going, because they haven't been able to scout much of this. So they're scouting on the fly. Sigsy, yeah, this is a dangerous move. They were not necessarily in the last compound. They might have had to play just on the little hillside. But now they're going very central, and they're going right past the Knights. They're going, this is a very scary avenue of approach. And they need this game. This is a big game for them. That could jump them over TSM.
They pulled up on the Knights. There's one player there. They're actually,
no,
oh no, Jack. No, they're just falling in. There's one. Where's the second? It's denied. But Fast Rail's caught off in the back line. In fact, no. I'm talking rubbish. He made it in. I mean, at least they're alive. They're taking a lot of casualties, but they've still got in there compared to where they were.
We won't know if that was worth it till late game.
They might get pulled up if FaZe are following them.
Well, TSM have just taken over the old compound the Raise Your Edge had, and now FaZe are coming towards that way. Reciprocity aren't far from it. TSM are on the move. They're in the same position now. Where do we go? We don't have much ground here. They might have to play this plateau, is what I said might be the option. Even though it's not a great one, it is an option.
Wait, FaZe? Will FaZe actually go all the way down and go through the blue? They might.
What are FaZe doing?
They may potentially play the blue here, unless they play the rock side and then take across the cliffs that run all the way around the pond. I think they might go blue and re-rotate around the back of every team that's there.
Might be your best option. It might be your best option. They have nothing else to play with at the moment. Samty's just been caught off by Natus. That might just be an angle he's been able to discover. I'm not sure where that was really from at this point. They are in the compounds opposite each other, so maybe just exposing himself a little bit too much for that. And yes, FaZe have gone on that east to south swing, maybe over towards Petrol Station, as there's nothing else available, as Reciprocity are fighting towards TSM here as well.
It's the best of a bad situation. I'm absolutely fine with it. Where they pull up is a different question altogether. Yasnaya gas station is open, but G2 will be able to read that. And they have the Harry Potter crossing the bridge, so they can gatekeep them now and basically just pin them back. Meanwhile, down underground, NIP have a battle. M19 pushing hard. 1 member, 2 member, 3 member gone. NIP 16th place. He was trying to hold on for dear life, the solo player, but unfortunately M19 flush him out.
God, you just... I love the fact we see him fights in like the underground bunkers. This rolls my mind back to when you first started playing PUBG. Shelter wasn't actually on the map. And when people first found out about it, everyone piled in. There was like that little bit of time before anyone knew about it, so you just have a little bit of fun on your own. And then the streamers found it's like, all right, about 50, 100 people in the old underground shelter before it was marked on the map. That was a beautiful time. Anyway, let's have a look. FaZe did get to the southeast. They are in the petrol station. I don't think it's going to be maybe a long-term hold, but it might do. Oh, God, they hate it.
My, look at that ping
Raise your edge. Okay, so for them, high risk. They lost out on 2. They've managed to get circle position. They ain't leaving that area, basically. TSM hold the east, but they need to work their way in, and this is very open ground. That is a very undesirable position over there. There might be a shack, but I think Reciprocity might beat them to it.
I'm trying to think if Raise Your Edge got the shack where it's pretty secure from behind, where it just starts to...
It has like the little dip around it, yeah.
So they're completely covered from the behind, and if anyone wants to make an advancement on them, it's going to be dangerous waters. They are going to do this. It's dangerous as hell with G2 seeing there.
Might be dead.
Oh my God, he's alive.
How is that bike still going? He just got absolutely mullered on that. I think he's going to try and pull up and find anything he can. Yeah, the bike's done for. And Fuzzface might be done for as well. G2 have good vision. It will be Chris to deliver the, not necessarily killing blow. Udyr claims that, but now FaZe try and pull up on Na'Vi, and Na'Vi have had enough of this. They don't like being bullied. They don't like being pressured.
Wait, dead.
Wait, did they just nade themselves? They just naded themselves. They just naded. Oh my God. Please get a replay.
Done?
Please get a replay of that. They just naded themselves.
So Jazz has pushed it, so they must have gone for Jazz, lowballed it out the window, and it's bounced off and killed themselves. Oh, what a slip-up that is! What have you done, boys? You 1 point from the... Oh, no.
And Joe, the bitter point about this is TSM is still perfectly fine in the position that Raise Your Head left.
Oh. Laughs him, wookie bookie.
Okay.
Well, we're carrying on.
Yep.
Unity, G2, here we go. Fight of your life, Udyr. You got 2 players inside there, but your teammates are just outside of reaching distance of you, so you have to fight this one on your own, my friend. He does have support from the side.
Winstrike have just bailed off the bike. I think the bike might have got picked up there, and they've just flung off it.
Was that 3 players or 2?
2, I think.
Okay, Navi's got as well. Empty found him. Neared through the letterbox, but Natus is outside. Now they have the full information. Has to be careful on that side. That's a decent nade. And might even be able to force him into an engagement here.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do. Sets going off in the background. Unity trying to hold on to this. The nades are just running a little bit too deep. That's a flashbang, though. I think Udyr might be flashed here. I'm not too sure. Yeah, he looks a little weird. He's definitely flashed in that. That came through just at the right time, I'm pretty sure. And the bleed out's going to happen now. Unity holding on. Bit of damage came in, but here comes TSM into the shack. Not the one that Raise Your Edge suffered their fate in, but Rory's been dropped off. And I think Michael's looking for his next spot.
If they're actually playing like an emergency situation, take as much ground as possible. I respect that. I think that's a good player.
Look at these boys just smoking ahead of themselves. They pulled in, a little bit of a top up on the loot. They know it's going to be a dangerous spot. They have some vehicles, though. They can maybe make a little bit of cover for it. I don't know if it's good enough yet. And they get another car.
He's going to pull it in front of them. They might even be able to set up a wall there and put 2 of them there. Even if they go down in the tires, they're not bothered. Just gives them a barricade to play with. Look at that. Fair play, lads, 2 trees, but again, with it being a ball and where they're all standing just points to 1 yard, any grenade is going to roll into all 4 of them.
Yeah.
They have to play proactively and not group up. We saw what happened in game number 1. Shadow just decimated Raise Your Edge with 1 solo nade. G2 and the rest of, Chris and the rest of G2, they're okay for now. They've still got Blast on knocking at the door. They just need to keep in check, but he is up on the hill. Shouldn't be too much of a bother. Circle centralizes. Rec M19 and Liquid, they're good for now.
That shot coming through. I think that was G2 maybe shooting down at them. Backcourt off. DA are holding the southern side as well. Unity, Orange trying to make a run for it, and you can see he's in trouble. Unity as a whole have got a lot of attention on them here. Blaston maybe trying to bail him out of it, but I don't think it's going to happen really anytime soon. He doesn't have the right to be able to do it. M19 getting ready for CrowCrowd moving in. Chris's nade finds Blaston. Unity 1 by 1 getting picked apart here. The Knights, Reciprocity, M19 in good spots. ENCE control the north. You have the southern side still waiting to blow.
I'm surprised they're staying here for so long in open water. They should take the vehicles and pull up on DA. DA have now read this and understood that they're out in the open and they're making an advancement. They've come out of the petrol station. And watch that kill feed. You might just see Digital Athletics completely batter Unity. They've stayed here for way too long. Unity, DA have read it well, and now they're pushing. There is a response zone. Orange catches the first player. 6 more answers back. Mert follows up as well. Yeah, they should have run. They had the vehicles. They should have run when they had the chance.
Yep, mistakes being made, and you're being punished for that one. Unity hitting the deck, trying to stay alive. You've got Winstrike, what's left of them, trying to make a run, and it's not looking good for Temek. I think he might be actually the only one standing, and there he goes. Winstrike goes down in 11th. This is not good for the teams looking to break in. ENCE on the move in the northeast, right towards the Knights. Big compound to be taken as well. The Knights, are you ready for what's coming your way? Mikas goes down. Where is the trade? Is there any answer going back into this? Trifley's turned up. Reels is ready. Squeaky's there. He's pulled up as well. Trifley falls, and ENCE just 1 by 1 falling. Squeaky finally gets into the action, but it looks a little bit too late. The Knights are down to 2. The danger is afoot. You've got the TSM squad still up top, laying down fire, and Unity have fallen to DA. That's not surprising. We saw it happening.
Scoom actually got involved as well in that fight. Did manage to secure, I believe, one of the players from ENCE. Rustamar is left on his own, just fighting for dear life. Wanting the rest of the Knights, they can kick it back and chill for now. Gustav does go down. That's a confirmation. Grenades come rolling towards M19. They can play off the back of this tree and the vehicle on the rock that they have. Make something work. Smokes go up, and that'll leave a deny line of sight to the players, or at least try and keep the bike up should they have to make the death race towards anything that's going to be left, because every single compound has gone.
Yes, it has, and the nades are coming through. It's CrowCrowd moving towards M19. That's in the distance, and I think Constantine knows that he's now in severe danger. TSM trying to hold on for dear life. They have the attention of Team Liquid and G2, a very scary couple of teams to be looking your way. If the Knights turn around, I think the Hill's keeping them safe from the Knights, but beyond that, TSM just in at this moment, and I think that cover, that smoke, will soon be dissipating.
Well, that's why he was holding his hand for so long, which suggests they have very little to play with if they're extending their smokes like that rather than just throwing them down 1 by 1. They don't have many left. 6 more, up close and personal,
oh my God.
Unfortunately.
The car made it further than the team.
Both of them fall. Tab does the job. Kane, Chris, Brexico, they all have eyes on the prize. TSM, they are in trouble.
They certainly are.
You can't make a run off this.
No.
Your vehicle's gone and you're utilising your smoke so slowly. Oh, look at this nade from Kane. If that bounces, bye,
oh my
boys.
God, oh my God, it's good. Oh my God, it is good. Dear Lord, that feels pretty rough to see. At least they went down together. Team Liquid now control the south to a lesser extent. They have Jeems in the forward position, and the rest of the 3-man hit squad behind them, but they could get engaged upon by CrowCrowd. That's a bit of an issue. They still have a remaining member of ENCE. That's Rustamar way up in the north. He's got to move. He's got a bike, though, so he can hop on that when he feels the need to. Just send it somewhere he can. There's a lot of room in the north. There's not a lot of cover, though. G2 trying to make the play. They are still not safe here. And there's Scoom. Reciprocity finally showing their head. They've kept calm the entire time.
I saw the crate, and you know what? He actually might be able to play off the back of it. Not only will it give him the level 3 gear, but when the circle moves in, that crate's in, he can sit behind it. That's a bit of free ground for him. Fight still ensuing.
Nades, there he is, the forward man. Nice work from James. Kane, and I like what Kane did because he's trying to do the same thing back to them. Kane made the smart play trying to get into that circle, but now he's getting all the attention from everyone else. It's not an easy spot. You have to make these risky plays, and there's not always going to be a safe way to do it. Chris knows that more than anyone, it seems.
Pushing.
And Samty is on the move. We've got Gemty now looking it down. It's Samty to take down Kane, and there goes G2 in 6th. Team Liquid holding on here. 7 kills. Big game. Good positioning. The south is theirs. Reciprocity starting to stretch their legs in the east. M19 still alive with Constantine, and CrowCrowd out in the west looking towards Rustamar.
Really good play from Samty there. Just comes flying around the corner with a hammer and puts the nail in the coffin, and it allows them to push up and extend that little bit of arm's reach that they had, just teetering on the edge of the circle. Jeems in the back lines, just making sure there's no snakes around them and sweeping. Rustamar hasn't actually gone for the crate. I'm surprised, but then again, Set might have an angle on him. Set goes down, he can go and get that gear, which just you're not going to do it with it, but it might give you survivability. Maybe you get an arm and get lucky and get a peek, a pick, a poke, anything, a point. Just do something. Rec still 4 players up. Let's not count out Rec just yet. Scoom's more further towards the side of Liquid to give them the information. Constantine really can't do much. Like, there's death on every single angle. Rafi, that's a good little opener.
That was very nice. That's an angle I didn't expect. It looks like Scoom's trying to find more as well, and you got him working out there in the field. Team Liquid now trying to humble Reciprocity. Sets on the move back in the vehicle. Might just go join his team down the southwest. Or just move up slowly, use the car for cover. Nice work from him. Very smart play. Nothing too new. We've seen it. Reddit's seen it. Loved it. Said it was, you know, Shroud's invention, but still, it is a good bit of play. Now let's look at the new circle. Kind of centralizing up a bit. Reciprocity's vast majority is not in there, but they have a good enough route-ish. Team Liquid have a bit of vision on that. They could really make it hurt for them, but Scoom is in the circle.
He also has the information that Constantine's in here, outside, okay. They've removed the man from the middle of the map and is give Reciprocity a jumping point, but Gemty also reads this one. There is potential that they both go for the same area. This is not a safe location for Liquid. They have to get to that compound. That's also a decent nade. Remember, Gemty's already been damaged.
CrowCrowd are kind of helping out Team Liquid in a way. They've got vision towards Reciprocity moving up. The smokes can only last so long. That nade is very good. Gemty's done for. Good work from Scoom. Nice pressure. Pushing up further forward, using that forward position he had. Samti's been spotted in the open. Senpai just needs to land those shots. The smoke starts to plume at the right time, and Senpai pretty gutted he missed that chance.
This is a great play from Scoom to take out that one player inside that shack. Not only gives them the shack in the center of the map, but it's the ridgeline that runs from it. It denies all line of sight from Team Liquid, but don't count them out yet. Samti is in the back. I know we're not looking at his POV, but we can see it on the map. He's in the back lines. He gets caught out. Good read from Rafi. Good security option to check the back. That's amazing work, because now there's only one way Liquid can get towards Rec, and it's basically going to be a funnel. Yeah,
that was really good positioning from Rafi, just holding that deeper angle. It allows them to focus towards CrowCrowd and ensure that no one's going to be doing exactly that. It was a nice read and a nice play from Team Liquid. That was their best option. Now they have to get past CrowCrowd, and CrowCrowd are delivering shots, so Rafi's gone down. That's their insurance policy, gone. But there's Tab right back in towards Liquid, chipping away at them. CrowCrowd 2-2 splitting it. 2 of them dealing with Reciprocity, 2 pushed up on towards Liquid, and that slowed down Liquid here because they have the blue on their back. Set just keeps doing this. He's not stopping.
It's only a down player, but at least removes the man advantage from Rec. They have to be careful.
Oh, Jamesy.
They're fighting 2 different battles on 2 different fronts. Don't overextend, don't overpeak. Because once again, we have the CrowCrowd scenario. They are split. If any of them go down, they'll be hard fought to get a res off of this one.
Again, hard work for Liquid in this, but it is mostly that Reciprocity CrowCrowd battle. Team Liquid don't want anything. If they can avoid this as long as they can and let the others fight, that's basically all they're going to do. They don't want too much of this. If they can get a pick, awesome. But again, you're trying to encourage the fight from everyone else. Now, Scoom is still trying to keep a little bit of an eye on what Team Liquid are doing. They've got 30 seconds to make a move, but as to CrowCrowd, they do have position in the circle, and this now slows down the roll. Again, another one comes in. Set again. This guy hasn't stopped. He's been picking them apart, and that's going to really hinder Reciprocity. That means they now need to pull a player back, get that revive, and Scoom is out on an island.
This is what we saw Set do in Phase 1. The man is a marksman. Senpai also follows up with a headshot of his own. Ibi, straight down outside of the vehicle, know what he can do there, and I think they're going to just leave him. He'll have to bleed to the wayside. They need to go. They're taking the vehicle. If he runs over Scoom, he's had this one before. It could be a problem.
Oh, Scoom this time. He doesn't get hit by the car, but now the issues begin. Team Liquid are gone. It's time to focus as CrowCrowd pull themselves together. Let's see what the collective can achieve. Still 2 players in the hut. Scoom out on his own. Scoom needs to land so many shots on the crosshair. If they try and make it central, that is exactly what he's doing. Good work from Scoom, but they have good cover. Let's look at the center of the circle. I think Reciprocity still have a very good angle. That nade isn't bad. It's not quite close enough. Not bad, though. Shiv could actually do some really big damage on this one. Tabs moving up. They're all starting to use their utility.
That's the thing. Every single grenade missed.
11 kills. Big game for them.
It's one piece of utility gone, unfortunately. Set's been a bit of a god so far. Might not necessarily be the kills, but the knocks are doing the damage with every single fallen body. A helmet's gone, and removing that gear just makes life easier.
Not a great deal, but they've got nades. They've got a smoke. They can still do something. They've got the low ground push. Set and Kemba are pushing. They know that the now circle position is vital. That's been spotted out, though. Not a clean shot coming out from Set. He now needs to look for a new angle to work from, because Shiv is watching this, and they've got nades for days. This could really slow down the roll. Haxetti's got one as well. Scoom's still trying to hold the high ground, but he's in a 1v2. This isn't easy. They're outnumbered and they might be outgunned. Set has to fall back on the reload. Senpai's taking down Scoom. It's game time. They can crunch towards Reciprocity. Haxetti and Shiv need to go big or go home. This looks like CrowCrowd's game, but maybe an overextension. Shiv finds Kemba, but where's the trade? Where's the shot back into this? Is there an answer? Set's moving up. Shiv, did he see it? I don't think so. Set is knocking at the door. Shiv, the last bit of heal coming out. Haxetti keeps him safe. Set goes down. Haxetti now needs to expect the other two players, the high ground players on the push. Where are the shots coming through on this one?
Get the confirmation, which removes the information that's been passed back for them. And that's absolutely fine. We're down to the 2 versus 2. Tab and Senpai, Hax and Shiv. I actually think it's Hax is further afield, so they have to make the... It would be Tab who has to make the move away. The circle will force this one if they don't soon.
Oh, the tag though. Haxetti's been pushed back. Yeah, this is going to be go time. Shiv left in the 1v2 now. Half HP. Can't get the heal off. No time for the angle. Oh, it's excellent, but the trade is there for Tab. And what a game for CrowCrowd.
Good push at the end there, and the refrag was real. There's so many times we've seen in the past where teams will just push up individually and then get split with the wind. But Shiv is not given any time whatsoever. The last 2 players of CrowCrowd. Fair play and credit to Reciprocity. They did well to get to that position. Scoom taking out Constantine and moving up to the middle was absolutely pivotal. If they wouldn't have been able to take that middle ground, there was nowhere for them to go. Maybe even Liquid just slams into them from the side, gets them out of that top 3, top 4 position.